So ominous, the countdown.
Countdown.
Ready? Hey everybody, how are you doing today? Hope everybody's doing good. Hey Mike, how you doing?
I'm doing spectacular.
Spectacular. That's a big word.
You do the intro?
No, I'm going to do it.
Okay.
So, today, how's everybody doing? I hope everybody's doing great.
I am.
Yeah, I'm doing great. We got our good friend, Roger.
Oh, yeah.
The next exciting episode of Ask Roger. That's our segment.
Highly anticipated.
How you doing, Raj?
Pretty good. Thanks for having me.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you for coming over and driving 4.5 days to get here.
Yeah, and you're even more handsome in person.
Yes, absolutely. Last time we saw you, you were Mr. Zoom.
Yeah, Zoom. I actually felt somewhat sophisticated because I actually had one Zoom meeting. I'm the only one.
Yes, me too. That was the first time and the last time I've ever had a Zoom meeting.
That's rarity. Everyone else out there is going, what? I have 5 a day.
Yep. So before we get started, I want to have everybody join me in having a brief moment of silence for the Marines and sailor that died over in Afghanistan. And yeah, so let's just have a moment of silence. All right. Well, thank you for that. Thank you for sharing with that with us. We are going to talk to Roger about. I keep saying it like that. Roger.
Yeah, it sounds cool.
I don't know why I do
Roger, welcome.
Hey, we're going to talk to Roger right now. It's 79 degrees in the city. It's going to be a great day. How there, Roger?
Oh, man, I wish it was 79.
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. It's like 179 right now. We're going to, our topic of the day for Roger is diabetes. And
a big topic. There's a lot of stuff in there, too.
And tons and tons and tons of people are afflicted with diabetes.
That's right.
I have type 2.
My brother had type 1, and then I'm working on mine. We'll see. Hopefully I won't get one, but I don't have it yet.
That's right. I have type 2.
So, you have type 2. So before we go any further, we are going to say right now that we are not giving you any kind of medical advice.
Yeah, we are not doctors.
We're not doctors. No, we don't know jack squat.
That's why we bring Roger.
Yes, and he's not going to give you any medical advice or any type of tips. We're just going to talk about the topic of diabetes.
Other than to say, if you have any symptoms you think, go talk to your doctor.
Yes, and you can do that when we go have a candy bar. So
that's true. Where's our jelly beans?
I don't know. I ate them all. No. Sorry. Bad joke. So, Roger, how you doing?
Pretty good.
So, what is diabetes?
Diabetes is a disease that's involved in excessive amount of glucose, which is basically sugar.
Okay.
Inside our cells of our body. So what happens with that is people with diabetes are not able to convert it into energy.
Okay.
So basically the people who have type 2 diabetes, which is definitely totally different from type 1, is
more common, right?
It's a more common one.
Yeah. Type 2.
And the thing with that is whenever we have excessive amount of sugar, we feel very weak because we can't convert that into energy.
So your body's devoting more energy to getting rid of the sugar?
Exactly, and that's a lot of stress on your kidneys.
Yeah.
So I didn't realize it, but looking back now, I would probably have been I would have been a diabetic since I was in my late 20s.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But I just didn't realize.
26 now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's been a really rough 6 years.
Yes, exactly. That's the worst 6 minutes of my life.
Yeah. So Basically, what we're going to talk about here is my own experience with my diabetes.
Perfect.
And a lot of people don't know or ignore the symptoms of diabetes. Mm-hmm. And I'm one of them. As a young man, I try to ignore what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
But,
That's what we all do.
Yeah. We're too busy. A lot of us just don't have time. I never had time to take care of myself properly.
What guy does? Because they're too busy, trying to make the bacon, make the bread, and eat it too.
Yeah.
A
lot of it.
And that's the biggest problem, is we're surrounded when we watch TV, when we go out there, and there's a lot of restaurants.
Oh, yeah.
And it's all over the place. It's food.
Yep.
And, when you have a family history of diabetes, yeah, it's really bad.
Yeah. My mom had diabetes. My brother had diabetes. Not my dad. My dad was an alcoholic. I don't know if he ever got checked or not. Mm. But not anymore.
Yeah, my dad had it, and I have type 2. I think my mother does.
Yeah, we have it almost, I would say, 95% of my family.
Wow.
From my father all the way down to me, except for
it's crazy common then, I guess, huh?
Oh, it's very common.
It's just because of an excess of food or an excess of the wrong type of food.
Yeah.
And lack of exercise.
And lack of education on the problem, too. I was never told growing up about diabetes ever.
I never heard the word until I actually dated a girl with it, and she didn't pay attention. She would give herself insulin shots and drink Michelob Lights like they were going out of style, and she ended up dying.
Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah.
It's a time bomb.
Yeah.
Time bomb.
Yeah, so education seems to be that, which is one of the reasons why we're doing this.
Yes, absolutely.
Seems to be like the most important thing about it. I wish to God, now I'm paying for all the sins of my past. So as you hit 50, and it's really important if you're not 50 yet, to just get some education and take care of yourself, because now what I'm finding is the doctors are right. Don't do that because it'll kill you.
Yeah. And every day we look in the mirror and we see what we're carrying around.
Yeah.
And that is because of bad choices.
No, not everyone can pull off this look. It's
yes.
but here I am.
I say I want to get in shape, but round is a shape.
Round is a shape, yeah.
Right.
Well, my wife said she wanted to see more of me, so I gained weight.
Yes.
Yeah. Let me tell you this story. When I was a kid, I was looking at my father. He was back then. He was already having a good career, but so he had the privilege of going to lunch at home.
Oh wow!
So I would remember at lunch he would eat a lot because my mom would eat home cooked food and all that, and then after eating, he just had to go take a nap. Mm. So when I was growing up, now that I know what was happening, he was in a food coma.
Yep.
Yeah.
He was in a food coma. And he couldn't function without taking that nap before going back to work.
Kind of sounds like Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Right after you eat Thanksgiving meal.
That's a perfect example. I think
it's all
people,
carbs.
Yeah, most people go into
carbs.
food coma. Yeah. And a delicious food coma, too.
And it's the combination of eating a lot of fat with rice. Mm-hmm. It's a really bad combination. If he was eating without rice, it's okay because it'll take time for you to convert it into your energy. But
yeah, but the rice
combination of the rice
turns into sugar because it's starch, right?
Yeah.
So, but rice is so good.
So there's going to be a test on all this when we're done. So I hope you're studying and listening.
Yeah, go on to Spotify and listen to the test on our podcast.
Yes, yeah, and stuff with Don and Mike.
Yeah.
So there's pre-diabetes.
Yeah,
which is what everybody is. I've been told that I'm pre-diabetic, but I tend to think that most 50-year-olds in my condition are probably pre-diabetic unless you're an Olympic athlete. And I don't think that really matters either.
No, because there's a lot of athletes that have diabetes.
Yeah. I know Nick Jonas, I think, is diabetic, and that dude's like always fit. Yeah. He's like always buff.
So diabetic.
Yeah.
And it's probably in the family history.
Yeah, probably.
And then there's type 1. which is when your body cannot produce the insulin, which is a hormone that makes the sugar, the glucose, go into the cell to give you energy.
Do you know that every time you eat, okay, what happens is it triggers the production of insulin. Mm-hmm. So we were told that, as diabetics, you should eat every 3 to 4 hours, or else your blood sugar would go down. So I would follow that doctor's advice. For a long time, for years, I've been doing that. And whenever I skip, like after 5 hours, then my blood sugar will go all the way down because I haven't eaten yet.
Yeah, you're crashing.
I was crashing.
Yeah, you're not maintaining that same level.
But see, the bad thing about that is after you eat, then you're up.
Yeah.
Your blood sugar is up. Now, after 4 hours, it's just going to go. So you're going back.
Up and down the yo-yo.
Up and down.
Yep.
But now they have found there's a lot of doctors now that are anti to this kind of knowledge. So one of the most prominent one that I've found, especially on YouTube, is Dr. Jason Fung, which is a kidney doctor. And he said, stop doing that. Don't eat. It was a suggestion was don't eat.
Stop eating.
Stop eating.
Because the crashing and the rising is really bad.
However, before we go further, let's just say this is Roger's personal opinion.
Exactly.
And you do what your doctor told you to do. And if you hear something that you like that Roger is saying out of his own personal stuff, then talk to your doctor first before you do anything. Don't change anything because you're watching it here.
Yeah. Do your research. Keep in touch with your doctor. That's why we have Roger, because he researched his own. He's a great example, and he talked to his doctor. So
and you question the suggestions, the advice, and from there you can make a better decision on what to do, because there's a lot of information out there that's coming out that's totally different from the traditional way of dealing with all these diseases.
As they do more research, there's more answers, and what may work for Mike or Roger or me, it may, well, let's put it this way: what works for you may not work for him, and what he does may not work for me.
That's absolutely true. Everyone's different. I've had a friend of mine, Don and I had a friend of mine who actually just passed away, but his blood sugar would literally go off the chart.
Right.
And his normal blood sugar was like 200.
Right.
Whereas mine is like a 95.
Right.
Lucky.
For now, let's see. I'm going to eat a bowl of sugar later. But his would go up and down, and it wouldn't matter what you eat or not. It was just out of control.
Yeah.
And I think that's what you were talking about, where
eating. Let me just say that, just to be fair to Dr. Jason Fung, which I watch a lot on YouTube, is he's not saying actually don't eat, but he's a program about fasting. So if you want to learn more about that, he's not the only one out there. So check it out and see what your doctor says. And you go from there. And I've started doing fasting for the past, I'd say 3-4 months now.
I was going to say at least a couple months.
Yeah. My longest one was 26 hours.
Oh, wow.
Oh, sheesh.
Of not eating and just basically clear liquids like coffee and just broth, bone broth.
Yes, oh.
See, and they're going to do a hangry commercial for Snickers with this guy.
Yeah, right.
This guy went 26, hours without eating anything.
Yeah. It's funny. As me, I don't think I've gone more than 12, 13 hours.
Does it look like I ever skipped a meal?
That's really kind of sad. All of a sudden, I don't know if I'd probably end up having a gnarly headache, or being really, really grumpy or ticked off at everybody if I go more than 8 hours or 9 hours. That really is, wow.
But my father, God rest his soul, he would come out here to California, and he would you know, he's a diabetic. He was taking type 1 diabetic, and he would, you know, he would have his insulin and keep it in the refrigerator and warm it up to get his little thing after his meal. But what my father would do is he would, before he took his insulin, he'd eat 2 beer claws.
Hell yeah.
And then a big Snicker bar. And a big bottle of, what you know, Diet Coke, though.
Right. Yeah. You got to watch it on a diet.
Yeah.
Gotta watch it down with a Diet Coke.
But then he would inject himself, and I'm like, Dad, what are you doing? And he's like, oh, don't worry. Or we would go out to eat, and he would eat 4 sandwiches. He was a big guy. You need 4 sandwiches instead of 6, you know. Oh, I'm on a diet because I'm only having 4. But the things were like this big. But then he says, oh, don't worry, I'm going to take a shot. So that kind of, I'm sure that messed up his,
I'm sure it did
his
too.
whole system. And I'm sure if he didn't do stupid stuff like that, he'd probably still be here.
And that's what I was talking about, how there's, now that we're older, there's repercussions for all the stuff we do, and being able to identify those behaviors that make us bad. You know what I mean? Now that I've quit smoking, I'm going to tell you guys that.
Yes,
over and over again.
high five.
Yes. And I realized what destructive behaviors are like. You know, you can make excuses for yourself for every single one of them, but every now and then you got to stop and look. And you know, I was paying what, $300 a week for cigarettes, or you know, and
It's unbelievable.
yeah, and holy moly, and the food I eat now, I can taste things again. So
But when you were smoking, you couldn't afford those candy bars, so that's why you don't
that's
have
true.
diabetes.
Skinny as a rail.
Yep.
Not true.
And that's a bad combination too. With smoking and then diabetes, it's really a bad combination.
I don't think smoking is a good combination with anything, really, except how sexy I looked when I was doing it.
So with the gestational diabetes, I mean, you know, that's when women are pregnant and
Right.
Yeah, that happens.
they're giving it to their baby or whatever, or because they're eating junk. How do you manage type 2? How does somebody manage?
Are you talking about people, women who are pregnant?
No,
or
just anybody in general.
Managing type 2 diabetes is the traditional way of doing it is your doctor will prescribe either metformin.
And now notice he said traditionally.
Yeah.
Traditionally, this is what the norm is, but they're changing things.
Yeah, because metformin has been around for years and years. What it does is it stimulates your pancreas to produce insulin. So it helps with lowering your blood sugar. And then if that, eventually as people grow older, that doesn't work anymore.
Right.
So we're going to up the game by injecting insulin directly into your system.
Right.
And
But that stops being effective after a while too. Right?
after a while, you know, you gain weight because it's not effective anymore. And then what happens is now you're producing plaques in your veins and arteries.
Oh, so it's building up for your heart.
So now you're attacking your heart, you're attacking your brain, which causes you to have a stroke. So either wherever plaque happens is where you're going to get a problem.
Yeah.
So if it attacks your arm, you'll have pain in your arms because of the blockage, or in your arteries and your legs.
And stuff, yeah.
So
Is that what with diabetes? You know, I always hear you can lose an eye, you can go blind, you can lose a leg. Is that from the plaque buildup?
And it's because of the circulation. Exactly. Yeah.
So it just starts to strangle up, because that was what happened with my brother. He was going to lose his legs.
Yeah, and my brother too. At the end of his struggle with diabetes, they had to amputate his leg, and then after a few days, he died.
Yeah, mine committed suicide before he got his legs amputated.
Yeah. So, but the good news about diabetes is we can do something about it.
Yeah, and that's the education part. It's really, really important. You know, learn about it. Take your time, because this, even though you're young and immortal now, you know, by the time you get 50, this stuff starts catching up to you. And no one told me. You know, of course, I didn't think I was going to live to be 50 either. But
so all this stuff that catches up with you is bad. But what's going to happen right now is we're going to go to a commercial break because time is catching up with us. We're going to be back with Roger in a few minutes, and we're going to talk to him some more about diabetes.
Hey,
so we'll see you in a few.
And I'm Mike, and you're listening to.
Okay, so as we would say in radio, and we're back.
We are.
We're back with Roger. He's I said it wrong. Roger.
Yeah, you got to do it moves, right?
Yeah, you got to do the Roger.
Like he's moving Roger.
It sounds like a race car. So we're back with Roger. We're talking about diabetes. So I remember when I first found out, or before I found out that I had diabetes, I had headaches all the time. I have dry mouth. I was tired. Didn't understand why. Mm-hmm. What about you?
Well, I have a lot of symptoms. My skin would be itchy, you know, and
like dry.
Yeah, dry and itchy. And then I was freaking out because my legs were getting numb.
That's weird. Yeah.
And so they tested my. I had to go to a neurologist, and he said, "There's nothing wrong with you neurologically, and it might be your diabetes."
Oh,
so those are the things. Like even people have dandruff or dry scalp or itchy scalp.
Wow. And it's because of a general dryness. What's the deal? The body's peeing out more than it should?
Diabetes attacks everything. It attacks the whole body.
Oh, okay. So it
attacks your eyes, too.
Yeah. And my eye doctor told me that they can see stuff in there. They can tell when you have diabetes. Mm-hmm. And they can tell when you have high cholesterol, which I find really weird. There's like fat in the back of my eyes that they can see. Yeah. They can see I have fat eyes.
And you know, the thing is with diabetes, it's because it affects your liver. So your liver is overworked because of what happens is when you eat, so your blood sugar is so high, the liver now has to store that into fat. So now, because the liver keeps on storing that fat, and you know, it surrounds your liver, surrounds your kidneys, surrounds your stomach, and then even surrounds your brain.
Yeah.
That's why right now they're saying that Alzheimer's is type 3 diabetes.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
Now, that's something we learned here with Ask
I never
Roger.
heard of that before. That's pretty important stuff to know. Again, go get tested, talk to your doctors.
Yeah, if you feel any of those symptoms, go get tested, please.
Yeah, Alzheimer's is horrible. So if you ever met anybody that has it or have a loved one with it, it's horrible.
Yep.
Exactly.
Get tested.
Because the plaque doesn't only happens in your heart, or it happens here too in your brain. So it makes a lot of sense because of this extra sugar that it's not supposed to be there.
So other types of diabetes are, which I just found out, is one of them is cystic fibrosis.
Yeah, I didn't know cystic fibrosis was a type of diabetes or brought on by diabetes.
Yep. And then monogenic, that was another one. I don't know too much about these, but just doing prep for the show, I found out a lot of that stuff. Pancreatitis. There's also I found out that drug-induced diabetes happens like when they're trying to treat you for HIV and AIDS.
Or I didn't know that either.
Yeah, I was shocked that medicines can actually make you.
Well, it makes sense. I guess they'd have something, but I guess it's a trade-off, right? It's one or the other.
Organ transplants is another thing that you get drug-induced because obviously they probably give you medicine so your body will accept the new transplant. So, so there's a lot of knowledge in there, and like I said, I have type 2, but you're in there with the doctor for what, 10 minutes,
right?
And then you stop eating what you're eating and exercise,
right?
And take your vitamins and say your prayers, and take this prescription to the pharmacy. But when you actually See, the best medicine, I think, is knowledge.
Yeah, absolutely.
And now that, I've had type 2 for a couple of years, and now I'm reading this stuff on the internet and all that stuff and asking questions. I got
And
Roger
stuff.
here. Yeah, and stuff. Maybe I'll watch a little bit closer.
Yeah, like I said, education. If I'd known about all the stuff that I was going to be dealing with at 50, I would have been a little more careful when I was younger.
Yep.
I would have paid more attention. So here we are. We're telling you, pay attention.
Yep.
And the doctor, once you visit the doctor, they don't have enough time to do the teaching.
Yeah, they don't.
So
It's all. It really is on us individually.
Yeah.
We doctors aren't going to be the cure all and everything. They'll help us get better. They'll diagnose us, but it's on us. It's not the doctor's responsibility to make us be better people.
Yep.
Or for us to get a doctor can get you in the right direction, maybe some education and stuff, but they're not the ones that are going to fix you. You're going to be the one that fixes you.
Yeah, take these pills. If you don't take the pills, whatever.
I think that's for me, and like I know in my family and friends I've known, everyone always thought the hospital is supposed to fix you. Now they'll put you back together. They'll get you started back, but it's always up to you as a person.
Yeah,
You
follow up. So we're going to switch gears for just a second. There's a young lady.
Oh, yeah.
There's a young lady that watches us religiously.
She's our half.
She's the half of
41.
41 and a half.
That's right.
Her name is Munchie. So she's a sweet little girl, young girl,
Yeah.
young lady,
Young lady, yeah.
young lady.
She's a young lady.
Yeah, just a sweetheart. She loves us. I don't know why, but she does.
Sure, yeah, I'm not sure why. It's kind of weird, right? But hey, we appreciate it. Thank you, Munchie.
Yeah, and we're gonna get her and stuff with Don and Mike T-shirt.
Lucky you.
Yep. And so yeah, we're really appreciate the fact that you watch us and that you love us, and we love you back.
We love you too.
Yep. Kiss, hug.
Hugs.
Roger even loves you, even though he hasn't even met you yet. But
Uncle Roger says.
Uncle Roger
says, "Listen to your doctor."
this is Uncle. Won't you be his neighbor? That's Uncle Roger.
That's true.
So, and I want to remind everybody that we are going to be starting. We're gearing up right now. We're getting ideas and we're getting things squared away for our next venture in all this podcast stuff called Doing Stuff with Don and Mike.
Yeah, doing stuff with Don and Mike.
Cool. So we're probably going to rope him into Roger into doing some of this stuff with us.
Yeah, like the parachuting one.
Yeah.
We're going to throw him out of an airplane.
The shark diving with
Shark diving. We're going to throw him into a cage with sharks.
Yep.
Basically, we're just going to like doing weird stuff to Roger with Don and Mike.
Yes, the blind circumciser. We're going to have him,
We have a moil that circumcises by braille.
Yeah. I think it's Rabbi Cut Your Pecker Off.
Yeah, Rabbi Cut Your Pecker Off.
Yeah. So we're gearing up for that. Some of the things that we're going to be doing coming soon is we're going to do a remote.
Yeah, we're looking for a good idea. You know what? Send some ideas, guys. Click and subscribe, like.
You know what? They never send us any ideas. They send us like, you guys should smile more. You guys should not smile as much. Give us some real good ideas.
Yeah, I think the smile one's nice, but we need an idea on remotes too. Don and I have some good ideas, but can always use a little extra. So subscribe, like. Is it over there?
It's down here.
Subscribe button over there.
Yep.
And give us some ideas.
Yeah, like I say, we're gonna confiscate Roger from his wife and make him do stupid stuff like we do.
Yeah, it's true. We're gonna get some ice skates on him.
Yep. But we're gonna strap it to his back and then roll him down the hill.
Yeah, wheelbarrow.
Yeah. A grocery cart.
Oh,
hey,
yeah.
If Jackass can do it, jackasses can do it too.
That's true. Only we don't have we're not going to bounce back like those guys.
Yeah. Yeah, especially with us diabetes, because when you have diabetes, you don't heal as quickly.
Exactly.
It's like Hot Mess with Don and Mike.
Yes. So we have a couple of guests coming up. A friend of mine, Jazz McKay.
Jazz McKay.
He's an ex-disc jockey, as we all are ex-disc jockeys, but he's a talk show host. He's been all over the United States. He's up in Bakersfield, California right now.
With a name like Jazz McKay.
Jazz McKay.
He's probably not running the country.
Yeah, really.
President Jazz McKay.
President Jazz McKay. How's it going?
It's 39 degrees in the White House, dude.
Yeah, let's go to Oildale. How's it going? And an actor that was in The Pretender. He was in a bunch of. He was with Thunder in Paradise. He's just in a bunch of stuff. A lot of commercials that I'm sure once you see his face, you'll know him. His name is Sam Ayers. He's a good friend of mine, and his wife Robin and their daughter Alexis.
Nice.
So they're Sam's going to be with us pretty soon. What else are we doing?
We're going to do we want to do a couple more restaurants too. So we're going to look into some restaurants. We're going to do a fishing remote, and then what's the one we're going to do? We're going to try to do a go-kart remote.
Go-kart remote.
So maybe some GoPros and watch two old farts crash into a wall.
Well, actually, we're going to employ. One of our friends is going to go with us, so we're going to Malachi crunch him.
Hell yeah. Malachi crunch. Hey.
So you remember that from Happy Days.
Happy Days.
So
and then afterwards, we'll jump a shark.
Yes, jump the shark. So what's one of the restaurants we're going to go to?
Oh, well, we're going to try for Dinah's Chicken, but we have to get
Chicken.
permission first.
Yeah, down in Glendale.
Yeah, down.
Yeah.
If you guys know it, it's a real deal. It's been around since '62, I think. Putting out hot buckets of fried chicken.
And I want to go to Porto's.
Oh yeah, Porto's. I love Porto's. I love Dinah's Chicken.
Yep,
I love Porto's too.
So yeah, we are diabetics, but
there's a reason.
Yeah,
we know where the good food is. You want your chef to be fat.
Yeah, we're just gonna walk by and go smell it. We're not gonna actually eat it.
We'll have Roger lick a piece of chicken. Yeah. How was it?
There you go.
Actually, we're just gonna have him like squeeze the fat out of the napkin.
He's like, "Can I taste your napkin?"
Yes, please.
They have
smell it.
They have pineapple coleslaw there.
Pineapple
coleslaw, yeah. Everyone loves it.
Yeah,
I promise.
I love pineapple coleslaw. But anyways, we're gonna take a break. We'll be right back. And we're back.
We're back.
So, I read a lot of stuff on the internet, as everybody else does. You Google this and Google that. Because we're diabetics, sometimes we want to know a little bit about what we should do, what we shouldn't do, all that stuff. And a lot of the times, trusting what we read on the internet is like eating a laxative and trusting a fart.
Yeah.
It just,
That's why I stick to only fan fiction on the internet. I don't read anything helpful, just fan fiction.
Yep. So, Roger.
Yes, sir.
What kind of nutrition? And again, this is what he has found that works for him. Trust your doctor. Do what your doctor told you to do. This is just for entertainment purposes only. There, the check mark for the lawyers.
Exactly.
So,
yeah.
So tell us about your nutrition. What do you do? What should people eat when they have diabetes? All that kind of stuff.
And even with people who are not diabetics, we should remember that everything turns into sugar. Now, the speed of that conversion into sugar makes a difference on what you eat. Okay? So carbohydrates is probably the worst thing that a diabetic would eat.
So breads, rices,
pasta, noodles.
So I could eat chocolate bar?
All the yummy stuff.
I could eat
all
chocolate
good
bars?
stuff.
Chocolate?
That's just straight out sugar. Chocolate from the beginning. Unless you get like puffed rice covered in chocolate.
Oh, like a rice cake.
Yeah.
That's like drier than a popcorn fart. I'm telling you.
Candy. And what happens is that it automatically produces the production of insulin. And then what it does is now your liver will detect that amount of sugar in your system and say, hey, I got to convert that into fat. So, and then most people are inactive. Now you gain weight. You're starting to gain weight.
Yep.
Exercise, people.
Yep.
So
it's important.
Yeah. just run over and get those bag of chips.
And don't download videos of people exercising and stare at it. Exercise with them on the video.
And for you young kids, this is not exercise.
Oh yeah,
That is not exercise.
I mean, you're building strong thumb muscles, but that's about it. Get up and get outside and go do something. Play wiffle ball. Go do something. Wiffle ball in Shelton, Connecticut. How you doing?
Hey, wiffle ball was fun.
Yep.
I don't even know if kids know what that is nowadays. Google it.
So yeah, Google it. My doctor told me that the worst thing for type 2 diabetics can do is drink juice, fruit juice, because he said it goes directly into your bloodstream, and your body doesn't have a chance to process it because it's bam right in your blood. So what he suggested, because I love fruit, I love fruit juice.
Me too.
And it's my Achilles heel.
Oh, nice cold glass of like grape juice or, I love
grape. Oh, lemonade.
Lemonade.
Although he did say I could have some lemonade, but not a lot. But what he did tell me to do is stop eating some of the fruits that I eat. Like I eat watermelon, high in sugar. I eat
strawberries too, right?
No, strawberries are actually really low in sugar and good for you. Nectarines.
Well, we talked about grapes.
Yeah,
grapes.
Stay away from them.
Yeah.
Stay away from them. I've got a bunch of grape plants outside,
Beautiful
and I
plants.
can't eat them. I might have one or two,
Yeah.
and then have to jog around the block 9 times. But I could really do that.
What would you want to?
I could drive around the block 9 times. So stay away from the high fruits.
And fruit juice, that's even worse because you're talking about concentrating.
Yep.
Instead of eating regular fruit like an apple, now you're concentrating that.
Yep.
And this type of sugar is what we call fructose, and the liver will automatically convert that into fat.
Yep. Yeah, they say apples are good for you.
I love apples and bananas.
Macintosh apples. It's this time of the year for me.
Ooh.
I
You didn't
can't
get any
wait.
this year.
I'm buying them.
Yeah,
I'm buying them
that
from
last year
Pavero Apples out in New York. So you could always send us a box.
Yeah. Oh man, they're delicious.
Pears are low in sugar. They said not to eat cherries too much.
Yeah, cherries.
I love
are
cherries.
hard.
Love cherries, man. It's,
I'm salivating thinking about cherries and watermelon and stuff. But yeah, just be careful what you eat.
Yeah, you got to go into vegetables because the vegetables are low in sugar, and because it's low in sugar, you're not going to gain weight. And I eat a lot of cauliflowers, steamed cauliflowers. I replace that instead of eating rice.
Yeah.
I would chop it into little chunks.
People
pretend
use-
that it's rice.
People use cauliflower for flour for pizzas. You know that?
Oh, really?
Yeah, you can have cauliflower
cauliflower
crust
crust, yeah.
and it's not half bad, and it's not like crust.
It's not half bad.
Yeah.
It's the other half that's bad.
Yeah.
And broccoli,
Not half
you
great
know,
either.
Oh, I love broccoli.
if you like broccoli and you
Gross.
put real butter, you would rather use don't use any fake foods.
Yeah.
Okay. You want fat, then eat real fat. You want to eat real meat.
It's hard to get real butter. You know everyone's margarine, even the stuff
Yeah.
in the cubes isn't real like you think. You get that good Amish butter, man. The real hand churned, real deal butter.
Yeah. Even the protein that you eat, like steak, chicken, those are good for you. It doesn't matter if it has fat, as long as it's natural. It comes from nature. You'd better off eating that instead of eating low fat. You know, those we've been like probably 20, 30 years ago, we started eating lean meats and all that. They're finding that out that that's not good.
Yeah.
You'd rather eat the real meat with fat in it.
The fat in it helps you,
Yeah.
Yeah, pass it.
use the bathroom.
Yeah.
That's it. And it's exactly what you think. It's a lubricant.
Yep. But yeah.
Exactly.
I'm a big fan of a ribeye steak.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't eat them that often anymore, but I love them.
I like filet. I'm sorry, filet.
Oh, so fancy.
The main thing is eat real meat. Don't go into this fake. They got the vegans and all that.
I haven't tried have you tried the Impossible Burger?
Yeah, it sucks. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I haven't tried. I was.
So we're gonna have to edit that name out.
Oh yeah, the blankety blank.
Yeah, you better.
I'm gonna give it a try one day.
So try that again and say, have you tried the Blet Burger?
Yeah,
or
have
something?
you tried the plant-based form of
Exactly.
meat?
Yeah.
Now I could never figure that out because they're trying to make grass or vegetables taste like meat. But
Yeah.
cows have been eating grass and making it taste like beef forever.
Yeah. Well, it's crazy is the one company out there that's the big one right now. It's in all the fast food restaurants. When you bite into it, it bleeds. It actually is red inside, and they use like beet juice or whatever. When you eat it, it bleeds. It drips out of the meat.
That's like.
Or unmeat.
It's so weird.
So
They
the
come up
sweet.
with all kinds of crazy things
However,
now.
when I eat mine goes,
Yeah,
and because that's how rare I like mine.
I like mine medium.
Medium.
And for diabetics, the vegetables that they have found that are really good are the bitter tasting ones.
Yep. They say stay away from yellow because they're not your friends, like corn and squash and all that because they have
High sweet sugar, yeah.
high sugar content.
But like the bitter melon would be.
Yeah, but
that's
you got that's a Filipino thing too. They love that bitter.
bitter melon.
But if it's good for you, it's good for you. You should look into some Filipino food. It's good stuff, guys.
And then okra is another one for
Yeah.
diabetes. What else is there for diabetes?
It's slimy and disgusting.
Anything that's green, I think will be good for diabetes.
Yeah.
Grass.
Yeah.
Rhubarb.
Yeah.
No, rhubarb is red.
purple, right?
Red. Yeah.
Have you tasted mustard leaves?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. I love mustard.
Yeah.
Love mustard greens.
Yeah, mustard greens, collard greens.
Yeah. And different types of lettuce. Those are very low in calories. If you want to lose weight or maintain weight, those are the ones you eat. And then, garlic is very nutritious.
I love garlic.
High in minerals instead of taking vitamins.
Keeps people away from you.
Yeah.
Hi, how are you?
And then there's
Where's your
onions.
report? It's right here.
Red onions. I like red onions.
Oh, I love them. Love them.
Yeah. So those are the things that are, really good for you. Now, the beans are kind of high in sugar too, but they're nutritious.
You know-
they have protein.
Beans are good with sugar sprinkled on it.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
They're also a musical fruit.
Yeah.
We have to say it.
Yes, the more you eat, the more you toot.
The more you toot, the better you feel.
And now you're ready for another meal.
Do you like coffee?
Yes, I do.
And do you put sugar on it?
I do.
or-
Yes.
You do?
Yeah.
So I use now stevia, which is it's a plant.
That's
Plant-based.
a lot of people use that stevia, and I cannot. I just, when I went in for when the doctor first told me I had diabetes, first I panicked because I thought it was a death sentence, and it's not if you pay attention and you take your vitamins,
Right.
or your medicine. Sorry. But I was like, well, that means I can't eat this, and I can't eat this, and oh my God, I can't do this. So basically, what I was doing was I was saying that my lifestyle that I had before
It's gone.
is gone.
Yeah.
But then he should have just gone, slap me right across the face. Say,
Right.
no, you don't have to end your life.
No.
But what you have to do is modify your behavior.
Yeah. It's all about that education. It doesn't ruin your life. It's not the end of the world. It's just, work with yourself.
And if you do, Roger, you could probably verify this. If you do what's right for your body and you eat better, and you exercise, you can actually go backwards, right?
Right.
You can get out of that diabetes bubble.
It might take, for some people like me, because of a family history, I don't think I can reverse it, but there are some people who have reversed their diabetes.
I'll take whatever small percentage
Yeah.
chance that is. If I happen to get it, work hard and try to get out of it, I'll take that chance.
Yep.
Work hard and do it.
And it's because, diabetes destroys your kidneys. Dialysis is a very, it's $1 billion industry in here in the U.S.
Yeah.
My daughter does that. She's a dialysis technician, and she has to hook these people up to the chairs all the time and these machines, and that's almost a whole nother show, because it's like she tells me all the time about how these people they're sluggish and they can't move and all that stuff because they go like 2-3 days, 4 days without it, even though they're supposed to be in there 3 times a week, and then they just go in there and they're like, oh yeah, well, we had a picnic or a barbecue or something, or the holiday happened, and now they're all jacked up with all the sugar and they have to have all the impurities.
Yeah, people are treating it, instead of like eating normal, they're treating it like, well, I'll just filter out
just
all
like
the
my
stuff.
father with the the insulin shot.
I'm going to eat everything I want because tomorrow I got dialysis.
Exactly.
You can't do that.
And alcohol is another one. They said that
alcohol is a big thing.
Yeah.
So
and the pain of going into dialysis 3 times a week for every 4 hours of a treatment, and it makes you very weak, and it's just a miserable thing to go through. And
can't imagine.
If you can avoid that, then you should.
Yeah, and that's again education.
There's knowledge.
Right.
Look into it. If you feel like you're, like they were saying earlier, the headaches, the dry skin. Heck, Rogers was mentioning that dandruff could be a cause of it. Or not cause of it, but a reaction of it.
Itchy, scalp, and then if you pee a lot.
Yeah, that's the one they've told me a lot. If you're in the bathroom peeing constantly,
and then what happens is your kidney is overworked.
Yeah, and so, constantly thirsty for water.
Yeah,
right?
And then you're thirsty a lot. Those are signs that we should not ignore. At least there's a problem.
I think Crystal Gale was a diabetic because she had that song "Donuts Make My Brown Eyes Blue."
Yeah, donuts.
So,
the lovely Crystal Gale.
Yes, that was Mondegreen. Remember we were talking about that back in our inception of Mondegreen, like baking carrot biscuits.
Baking carrot biscuits. Well, we do want to give a shout out to one particular band. Now we've segued into music a little bit. So what were we talking about, Don?
So Mike and I went the other night to watch a Queen tribute band called Queen Nation.
A good one, too. Really, really good one.
Yeah, they were spectacular, and hey, that's a big word.
Spectacular.
They really were great. They dressed up like the band Queen.
They were
really.
They had the Brian May hair.
Yeah.
The guy doing Freddie Mercury moved and danced just like sounded really good, man. There were some songs. You get to see Bohemian Rhapsody live. I mean, that's amazing. It's so amazing live.
And short of having Freddie here, I have seen Queen a bunch of times, met them. Just really great time. Last time they were in Vegas with Adam Lambert. I went there. It was like 6 rows back. Wow. Great. I was like a kid, like all over again. Just I was there. And even though Freddie Mercury and John Deacon were not there, Brian May and Roger Taylor just rocked the house, and I was so. You almost get, and I know this kind of sounds a little weird, but you kind of almost get emotional because you're there and you see these people that you idolize. Since I was 1972 is when I first started really appreciating their music.
Good Lord, you're old.
I am, and I'm even older than that.
Yeah,
but stupid songs that were poppy, when ABBA's Dancing Queen came out, it was
great
Bicycle
music.
Race and Fat Bottom Girl.
Oh, yeah.
And then it was Bohemian Rhapsody, and it was We Will Rock You, saying that this is what they did was they went through different.
Yeah, they went through all the eras, and it was amazing. Freddie Mercury unfortunately can't do concerts anymore. So bands like this are the only way we can get close to, except for Adam Lambert and singing. But even then, he's not Freddie
Paul
Mercury.
Rogers. I watched them at the Hollywood Bowl with Paul Rogers from Bad Company and Free. I'll tell you what. I was just before these guys came over. I was playing Cosmos Rocks. That was a Queen album that Paul Rogers did with the surviving members of Queen.
One of my favorite singers, too, Paul Rogers.
Yeah.
And Bad Company is like the soundtrack to my 80s.
So you were born with a 6-gun in your hand?
I was born. I am Bad Company, man. Yeah. Or at least I pretended like I was.
But anyways, the Queen Nation guys, super, super great musicians.
Mercury's famous for, and it was awesome. It was spectacular to watch.
And then after we were done, we got to go back and meet the band.
Oh yeah, they're really nice guys.
So they were very accommodating. They gave us a shout out, so I'm going to put that on when I edit this. Just a really great guy. A group of guys.
Yeah, they were. And they put on a hell of a show.
And we were so proud to stand with them. And
yeah, I was just amazed. I never got to see Queen at all in concert, and this is the closest I'll ever get to it. So it was amazing.
Is this out in the open or?
Yeah, it was over at the. There's a place in Palmdale called the Amphitheater, and the city puts it on. Mm-hmm. And so they bring them in. They were supposed to be here last year, but they weren't. But I've seen them a couple times before, and every single time they get tighter and tighter and tighter.
Yeah.
So
nice.
Yep. So, anyways, with that, again, we're gonna say bid you adieu for now. Love to thank our guest Roger with his segment Ask Roger.
One of the smartest guys we know.
Yep.
Thanks for having me.
He's got a YouTube channel, so I think he's probably going to get back into it. Maybe.
Yeah.
Is there anything you want to say to the people?
Any shout outs?
All 41 and a half of them.
Thank you, and to your good health.
Oh, I like it.
Cheers.
Cheers.
And stop with Don and Mike. Yeah!